Hello everyone, and welcome back to English with Ghofran, where learning English is simple, practical, and fun. I am Ghofran, and I am so happy you are here with us today.
Hi, everyone. It's always great to spend some time with all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful day, because today's conversation is one that you'll be able to use almost everywhere.
Absolutely. Today we're talking about something that everybody has hobbies. Whether you enjoy reading, cooking, traveling, drawing, playing sports, or simply relaxing with a good movie, hobbies are one of the easiest topics to talk about in English.
That's right. Think about it. When you meet someone for the first time, one of the most common questions is, "What do you like to do in your free time?" It sounds like a simple question, but many English learners suddenly don't know what to say.
Exactly. You know the answer in your own language, but when it's time to answer in English, your mind suddenly goes completely blank.
Don't worry, that happens to almost everyone. The good news is that today we're going to show you how native speakers naturally talk about their hobbies without sounding like they're reading from a textbook.
We will learn useful expressions, natural vocabulary, real life examples, and later we will practice everything together in a realistic conversation. So, stay with us until the end because every section will help you sound more fluent and more confident.
All right, let's get started. Ghofran, why do you think so many English learners struggle when talking about their hobbies?
I think it's because many students memorize only one sentence. They learn something like, "My hobby is reading books." Grammatically, it's correct, but honestly, it doesn't sound very natural in everyday conversation.
I completely agree. Native speakers usually don't introduce their hobbies that way. Instead, they use expressions that sound more relaxed and conversational.
Exactly. Let's learn our first expression. One of the easiest ways to talk about your hobbies is to say, "In my free time, I like to."
I love that expression. It's simple, friendly, and you can use it almost anywhere. For example, in my free time, I like to watch documentaries. Or, in my free time, I like to play basketball with my friends.
Here are a few more examples. In my free time, I like to bake homemade cookies. In my free time, I like to learn new languages. In my free time, I like to go for long walks. Notice that all of these sentences sound very natural.
Another expression that native speakers use all the time is, "I'm really into."
Oh, yes, I hear this expression almost every day. When you say, "I am really into something," it means you are very interested in it.
For example, "I'm really into photography." "I'm really into fitness." "I'm really into cooking healthy meals." "I'm really into learning about history."
This expression sounds much warmer than simply saying, "My hobby is." It also encourages the other person to ask more questions.
Exactly. Imagine someone says, "I'm really into photography." A natural response might be, "Oh, really? What kind of photos do you like taking?" Now the conversation continues naturally.
That's the secret. Good conversation don't stop after one sentence. They grow because both people become curious.
Here's another useful expression. "I've recently started." This is perfect if your hobby is new. For example, "I've recently started learning the guitar." "I've recently started gardening." "I've recently started making homemade bread."
I love this expression because it shows you're learning something new. Remember, you don't have to be an expert. You don't need years of experience before talking about your hobbies.
Exactly. Imagine saying, "I've recently started painting." Nobody expects you to be the next Picasso. People are usually interested because you're trying something new.
Learning should be enjoyable. Your hobbies don't need to be perfect, they only need to make you happy. And that's something worth sharing.
Let's learn another useful phrase. You can say, I've been spending a lot of time. For example, I've been spending a lot of time reading mystery novels. I've been spending a lot of time practicing yoga. I've been spending a lot of time improving my cooking skills.
Notice how this expression tells the listener that the hobby has become part of your daily life. It feels personal, natural, and very conversational.
Now let's imagine someone asks you, what do you usually do after work? Instead of saying, I watch TV, you could answer, after work, I usually enjoy watching travel videos because they help me relax. That answer sounds much more interesting.
Exactly. Always try to add a small reason, not only what you enjoy, but also why you enjoy it. That makes your English sound richer and much more natural.
And don't worry about using difficult vocabulary. Simple English, spoken confidently, is always better than complicated English that you are afraid to use.
That's one of the biggest secrets to becoming a confident English speaker. Speak simply, speak clearly, and most importantly, enjoy the conversation. Because English isn't about sounding perfect, it's about connecting with people.
Very well said. And we still have lots of useful expressions coming up. Now that we've learned how to introduce our hobbies naturally, let's take the next step. How do we explain why we enjoy them? Because that's what keeps a conversation alive.
Exactly. Many learners stop after saying, I like cooking. That's okay, but it's only the beginning. If you want to sound friendly and confident, add one more sentence that explains your reason.
One simple expression you can use is, it helps me. For example, I enjoy reading because it helps me relax before bed.
Or, I am really into swimming because it helps me stay healthy. Here's another example. I love drawing because it helps me express my activity. These small explanations makes your answer much more interesting.
Absolutely. People don't only want to know what you do, they're often curious about why you enjoy it. That creates a real conversation instead of a short question and answer.
Another useful phrase is, it's a great way to. Listen to these examples. It's a great way to meet new people. It's a great way to reduce stress. It's a great way to learn something new. It's a great way to spend time with my family.
I use that expression all the time. For example, I enjoy hiking. It's a great way to enjoy nature and forget about work for a while.
That sounds very natural. Now, here is another expression that native speakers love. It makes me feel. This is perfect when you are talking about emotions. For example, it makes me feel calm. It makes me feel energized. It makes me feel creative. It makes me feel happy after a busy day.
Notice something important. People often remember emotions more than facts. If you say, I enjoy playing the piano because it makes me feel peaceful, people immediately understand your personality.
Exactly. You are not only talking about an activity, you're sharing a small part of yourself. And that's how friendships often begin.
Let's learn another very useful expression. You can say, one thing I never get tired of is, I really like this one. For example, one thing I never get tired of is watching the sunset. Or, one thing I never get tired of is listening to classical music.
Here's another example. One thing I never get tired of is walking through bookstores. That sounds much more natural than simply saying, I like bookstores.
Exactly. It sounds more personal, more expressive, and much more like real English. Now let's imagine someone asks, how often do you do your hobby? Many learners answer with only one word, sometimes, or often. Those answers are correct, but we can make them much better.
You could say, I usually do it every weekend. I try to do it a few times a week. I don't have much free time, but I enjoy it whenever I can. I have been doing it for several years. These answers sound much more complete.
And here's another tip. Don't worry if your grammar isn't perfect. People care much more about understanding your message than hearing perfect grammar.
That's true. Confidence comes from communication, not perfection. The more you speak, the easier English becomes.
Let's talk about another situation. Sometimes people ask, how did you become interested in that hobby? That question surprises many learners.
A simple answer could be I started during high school. My friend introduced me to it. I learned it from my parents. I discovered it online. I have loved it since I was a child. These are all natural answers.
Here's an example. I've loved photography since I was a teenager. I enjoy capturing beautiful moments whenever I travel. Doesn't that sound much richer?
Definitely. And remember, you don't need complicated words. Simple ideas, spoken naturally, are much more powerful.
Sometimes learners think they need to use very advanced vocabulary. But honestly, native speakers use simple English most of the time.
Exactly. Natural English is usually simple English. That's why today's expressions are so useful. They are easy to remember, easy to pronounce, and useful in everyday conversations. Before we continue, let's ask our viewers something.
Great idea! Everyone watching, we'd love to hear from you. What's one hobby you've always wanted to try? Maybe it's learning the guitar, painting, photography, or cooking. Write your answer in the comments using today's expressions. For example, I've recently started, or I'm really into.
And if you are enjoying today's lesson, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to English with Ghofran. Every new lesson is designed to help you speak more naturally, one conversation at a time.
All right, are you ready for the next section? Because now we're going to learn how to ask other people about their hobbies and how to keep the conversation going naturally without awkward silence. Let's continue.
So far, we have learned how to introduce our hobbies and explain why we enjoy them. Now, let's learn something just as important. How do you ask other people about their hobbies? Because great conversations are never just about talking, they are also about listening.
Exactly. When you ask interesting questions, people feel comfortable talking with you, and the conversation becomes much more natural.
Let's start with one of the most common questions. What do you enjoy doing in your free time? I love this question because it's friendly and open ended.
Me too. It's much more natural than simply asking, what's your hobby? People can answer however they like. For example, in my free time, I enjoy cycling around the city. Or, I usually spend my weekends trying new coffee shops.
Here is another great question. How did you get into that? This is a very common expression in everyday English. When you ask, how did you get into photography? You are asking how someone become interested in photography.
Exactly. Notice that we don't usually say, how did you begin this hobby? That's correct. But how did you get into it? Sounds much more natural in casual conversation.
Let's hear an example. Tom, how did you get into hiking?
That's a good question. I actually started hiking a few years ago. One of my friends invited me on a weekend trip to the mountains. At first, I thought it would be difficult. But after that first hike, I completely fell in love with it. Now I try to go hiking at least twice a month.
That sounds wonderful. What do you enjoy most about it?
Honestly, I love the fresh air. It helps me disconnect from my phone, forget about work, and enjoy nature. Every hike feels like a little adventure.
I really like that answer. Notice how Tom didn't just say, I like hiking. He explained how he started, how often he does it, and why he enjoys it. That's exactly how real conversations sound.
Now it's my turn. What do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Lately, I have been spending a lot of time reading books about personal development. I also enjoy creating English lessons and finding new ways to make learning fun for students.
That sounds interesting. How did you become interested in teaching English?
I have always enjoyed languages. When I realized that I could help people become more confident while speaking English, I knew that teaching was something I truly wanted to do. Seeing students improve makes me really happy.
That's inspiring. I think people can really feel your passion when you talk about it.
Thank you. And that's another important lesson. When you talk about something you genuinely enjoy, your English automatically sounds more natural. You don't have to memorize long speeches, just share your real experiences.
Exactly. Now, let's learn another useful question. How often do you do that? For example, how often do you play tennis? How often do you go running? How often do you cook? This question comes up very often in everyday conversations.
Here are some natural answers. I do it almost every day. I usually do it once a week. I try to do it whenever I have time. I haven't done it recently because I have been very busy. These answers are simple, but they sound very natural.
Here's another question I hear all the time. What's your favorite part about it? I love this question because it encourages people to talk about their feelings.
Exactly. For example, my favorite part is meeting new people. My favorite part is learning something new every time. My favorite part is seeing my progress. My favorite part is how relaxed I feel afterward. These are all excellent answers.
Let's practice another short conversation. I'll start. What do you usually do on weekends?
Well, my weekends are usually pretty relaxing. I enjoy spending time with my family, reading, and sometimes trying a new recipe in the kitchen. How about you?
I'm a big fan of cycling. Whenever the weather is nice, I ride my bike around the park or along the river. It's one of my favorite ways to stay active.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Do you usually cycle alone or with friends?
Most of the time, I go with two close friends. We talk, laugh, and enjoy the fresh air together. It doesn't even feel like exercise.
That's the best kind of exercise. When you are having fun, you almost forget you are working out.
Exactly. And that's another tip for everyone watching. When you're talking about your hobbies, don't only mention the activity. Talk about the people, the places, and the feelings connected to it. Those little details make your English much more interesting.
Very true. The more details you share, the more opportunities the other person has to continue the conversation. And that's how confident English speakers communicate every day. You have already learned how to introduce your hobbies, explain why you enjoy them, and ask other people about theirs. Now it's time to make your English sound even more natural. Let's learn some everyday expressions that native speakers use all the time.
Exactly. These expressions are simple, but they can make a big difference in the way you sound. Let's start with our first one. I've always enjoyed. This is perfect when you've liked something for a long time.
For example, I have always enjoyed reading mystery novels. I have always enjoyed cooking for my family. I have always enjoyed spending time outdoors. These sentences sound warm and natural.
Here's another expression. It's become part of my routine. I really like this one because it shows that your hobby is now a regular part of your life.
Exactly. For example, I go for a walk every evening. It's become part of my routine. Or I spend 20 minutes reading before bed. It's become part of my daily routine.
That's something many native speakers say. Instead of simply saying, I do it every day, they often explain that it has become part of their routine. It sounds much more conversational.
Now, let's learn another great expression. I look forward to it. This means you are excited about something before it happens. For example, I look forward to my Saturday morning bike rides. Or I look forward to painting every weekend.
Here's one of my favorites. I look forward to practicing my guitar after work. It tells people that the activity brings you happiness.
Exactly. Now let's learn another useful phrase. It gives me a chance to. For example, it gives me a chance to relax. It gives me a chance to be creative. It gives me a chance to spend time with my family. It gives me a chance to learn something new.
Notice that all of these expressions explain the benefit of the hobby. You're not only describing the activity, you're explaining why it matters to you.
That's what makes conversations interesting. Now, here is another expression that you will hear very often. I can't imagine my week without it.
I love that sentence. Imagine someone asks, "Do you really enjoy running?" You could answer, "Absolutely. I can't imagine my week without it." That sounds very natural.
Or, I can't imagine my weekends without reading. I can't imagine my evenings without listening to music. These expressions show that the hobby is an important part of your life.
Let's practice a short conversation using these new expressions. I'll start. Have you picked up any new hobbies recently?
Actually, I have recently started learning more about food photography. I enjoy taking pictures of homemade meals before eating them. It's surprisingly fun.
Really? What do you like most about it?
It gives me a chance to be creative. I'm still learning, but every photo teaches me something new.
That's great. I've always enjoyed photography too. Although, I still have a lot to learn.
Don't we all? Learning is part of the fun. Nobody starts as an expert.
Exactly. That's something every English learner should remember too. You don't need perfect English to have a great conversation. You simply need the confidence to speak.
Very true. Progress comes from picture, not from waiting until you feel perfect. Now, let's learn a few useful adjectives that you can use when talking about hobbies.
Great idea. Instead of always saying, "My hobby is fun," try using more descriptive words. For example, relaxing, creative, exciting, peaceful, rewarding, challenging, inspiring, enjoyable, refreshing, meaningful.
Let's hear them in sentences. Reading is very relaxing. Photography is incredibly creative. Hiking is both exciting and refreshing. Cooking is rewarding because I can share food with my family. Learning a new language is challenging, but it's also meaningful.
Those small vocabulary upgrades make your English sound much richer. And the best part? They're easy to remember.
Exactly. Now let's play a quick challenge. I'm going to name a hobby, and Tom will describe it using one of today's expressions. Ready?
Ready!
Swimming.
Swimming helps me relax after a busy week. It's become part of my routine. I look forward to it every Saturday morning.
Excellent. Now, reading.
I've always enjoyed reading. It gives me a chance to learn something new and forget about everyday stress.
Very nice. One more. Cooking.
Cooking is one of my favorite hobbies. I can't imagine my weekends without trying a new recipe. It's creative, relaxing, and delicious.
I completely agree with that last part. Now it's your turn. Everyone watching, choose one hobby you enjoy and try to describe it using today's expressions. Don't worry if your sentence isn't perfect. The important thing is to practice. Every sentence you speak brings you one step closer to fluency.
Exactly. Keep it simple, speak clearly, and enjoy the process.
You have learned so many useful expressions today. Now it's time for one of our favorite parts of the lesson, pocket words. These are useful words that you can carry with you and use in real conversations.
Ready? Let's begin. Our first word today is leisure. Leisure means the free time you have when you're not working or studying. For example, I usually read books during my leisure time. Or, walking in the park is one of my favorite leisure activities.
That's an excellent word because you will hear it in everyday English as well as in books and articles. Our second word is creative. If something is creative, it allows you to use your imagination and create something new. For example, I enjoy painting because it's creative, or cooking can be a very creative hobby.
I like that word because many hobbies help us become more creative. Our third word is improve. Improve means to become better at something. For example, I practice English every day to improve my speaking skills. Or, I started taking photos to improve my photography.
Remember, improvement happens little by little. Don't expect perfection overnight. Next, we have balance. Balance means having enough time for different parts of your life: work, family, friends, and hobbies. Example: reading helps me keep a healthy work life balance.
That's something many people forget. Hobbies aren't just fun, they also help create balance in our lives. Our final pocket word today is curious. If you're curious, you enjoy learning and discovering new things. For example, I'm curious about different cultures. Or, I'm always curious to learn new skills.
Curiosity is one of the best qualities for language learners. The more curious you are, the faster you will improve. Excellent. Now let's move on to our next section.
Now it's time to smooth out some common English mistakes. We'll take a sentence that sounds a little unnatural and make it sound much more like everyday English. Ready? Let's begin.
A learner says, "My hobby is make cakes." We understand the meaning, but it isn't correct. A natural way to say it is, "I enjoy baking cakes," or "I love baking."
Notice how much smoother that sounds. Simple, clear, and natural. Here's another one. I do football every Friday. Native speakers usually say, I play football every Friday, or I play soccer every Friday, depending on the country.
Remember, we play sports like football, basketball, and tennis. Here is another common mistake. I like listening music. The correct sentence is I like listening to music or I enjoy listening to music.
Don't forget the word to. We say, listen to music, not listen music. Let's try another one. I go gym every day. A natural sentence would be, I go to the gym every day, or I work out at the gym every day.
Adding those little words makes your English sound much more natural. Here is another example. My free time, I watch movies. Instead say, in my free time, I watch movies, or in my free time, I enjoy watching movies.
Excellent. That small change makes a big difference. One more. I'm interested in photography. That's a very common mistake. The correct sentence is, I'm interested in photography.
Remember, people are interested. Things are interesting. For example, I am interested in history. History is interesting.
Now it's your turn. I'm going to give you 3 hobbies. Try making your own sentence before I do. Ready? Cooking. A natural answer could be, I'm really into cooking because it helps me relax. Photography. I've recently started photography and I'm really enjoying it. Reading. In my free time, I enjoy reading novels because they help me improve my vocabulary.
Fantastic! If you're able to make your own sentences, you are making real progress. And even if it wasn't perfect, that's completely okay. Every conversation helps you become a better English speaker. Now it's time for our final section. We are going to put everything together in one realistic conversation. Listen carefully to the Listen carefully to the expressions we have learned today, because you will hear them use it naturally from beginning to end. All right, Tom, Let's imagine we are meeting for coffee after work. We haven't seen each other for a few weeks, so naturally the conversation turns to hobbies and free time.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Hi, Tom. It's so nice to see you again. How have you been?
I've been doing really well, thanks. Work has been busy lately, but I've been trying to make more time for myself. How about you?
Pretty much the same. I have realized how important it is to have hobbies that help you relax after a long day. What have you been doing in your free time recently?
Well, I've recently started cycling more often. At first, I only rode my bike on weekends, but now it's become part of my weekly routine.
That sounds wonderful. What made you start cycling?
A friend invited me on a short ride one Saturday morning. I wasn't sure if I'd enjoy it, but after that first ride, I couldn't wait to go again. Now I look forward to it every weekend.
That's amazing. What do you enjoy most about it?
Honestly, it's the feeling of freedom. When I'm riding my bike, I forget about emails, meetings, and all the little worries of everyday life. It helps me clear my mind and recharge my energy.
I completely understand. It's wonderful when a hobby helps you feel refreshed. As for me, I have been spending more time reading and creating English lessons. I genuinely enjoy finding simple ways to help learners become more confident.
That's one thing I've always admired about you. You make learning English feel friendly and enjoyable. It never feels stressful.
Thank you. That really means a lot. I believe learning should be something people look forward to, not something they fear.
Absolutely. By the way, have you picked up any new hobbies recently?
Actually, yes. I have recently started learning food photography. Whenever I cook something new, I enjoy taking a few pictures before eating. I am still learning, but it's been a lot of fun.
That's such a creative hobby. Do you use a professional camera?
Not yet. Right now, I am just using my phone. I think the most important thing is practicing regularly rather than having expensive equipment.
I couldn't agree more. Practice is always more important than perfection.
Exactly. What about you? Is there a hobby you have always wanted to try?
I've always wanted to learn the guitar. I've watched so many people play beautiful songs. It looks challenging, but also very rewarding.
I think you should definitely give it a try. Everyone started as a beginner. The first few weeks might be difficult, but little by little you will improve.
You're right. That's true for learning English too. No one becomes fluent overnight. It takes patience, practice, and consistency.
Exactly. The important thing is to enjoy the journey. When you enjoy learning, progress comes naturally.
That's a great piece of advice. You know, talking about hobbies today reminded me of something. People often think hobbies are only about having fun, but they're much more than that. They help us learn new skills, meet interesting people, and keep a healthy balance in life.
I couldn't agree more. Sometimes a simple hobby can completely change your daily routine. It can help reduce stress, increase confidence, and even inspire new goals.
Very true. And the best part is, everyone has something they're passionate about. You just need the confidence to talk about it.
Exactly. Whether you enjoy reading, drawing, cooking, sports, music, or learning languages, your hobbies tell a story about who you are, and that's what makes conversations meaningful.
Well, I think we've learned so many useful expressions today. From introducing your hobbies to explaining why you enjoy them, and even asking other people about theirs.
Absolutely. Now it's your turn to practice. The next time someone asks, "What do you like to do in your free time?" you'll have plenty of natural answers ready. Just remember, speak slowly, smile, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every conversation is another opportunity to improve.
Before we finish today's lesson, we have a question for you. What hobby do you enjoy the most and why? Write your answer in the comments below using one of the expressions from today's lesson. We'd love to read your answers.
And if you found today's lesson helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to English with Ghofran and turn on the notification bell so you will never miss a new lesson. Every week, we are here to help you speak English with more confidence, more fluency, and more enjoyment.
Next time, we'll learn how to talk naturally about your hometown and your city. You'll discover useful vocabulary, real conversations, and practical expressions that you can use with people from all over the world. So, make sure you join us for the next lesson.
Thank you so much for learning with us today. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and remember, every small step you take brings you closer to speaking English confidently.
Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic week.
Bye, everyone. See you in the next lesson on English with Ghofran. Bye.